Hello everyone, welcome to another upload of A Moment of Truth. It's Frederick, of course, and I do hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to go ahead and jump into what I'm going to be talking about today. I did mention in the introduction video of A Moment of Truth that not only are we going to be talking about biblical or scriptural issues or topics, but we also are going to be talking about world events, current events, contemporary events, or issues of today. And this is going to be one of them. Although they may be sensitive and offensive to some, or maybe to a lot, we're going to talk about them and tackle them. And this is going to be one of them today, and probably one of many to come. So let me go ahead and jump into it. And let me first of all say this. I don't preface myself a lot. I do not qualify my statements a lot. But let me say this here. When I say things about people, I do not say, nor do I mean every single individual person. I don't say or mean everyone. I do not say or mean everybody. If the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe does not fit, then don't get upset. I'm not talking about you. And with that being said, that's that. I saw an ad this past week that came out from a company or manufacturer that caused a little bit of a stir or a controversy among black people, or African American, whatever you want to call yourself. And the ad that came out looked like this here. This was the actual ad. Now, that was the advertisement that the company put out. And it caused quite a bit of a stir and a controversy, mainly among black people, or African American people, whatever you want to call yourself. And as you could see on that picture, on that advertisement, their product, which was a baby carrier, one of the products, or one box of the product, had a white or Hispanic woman on the front with the baby carrier, but she had a white or Hispanic man behind her, kind of indicating that was at the least the father of the child, and at best the husband of the woman. And the other box, there was a black woman or African American woman on the box with the baby carrier on her, of course, but she didn't have a black man behind her, indicating that she was a single parent, or giving the perception that she was a single parent. Now, on the blog that I was looking at, where I got the picture from, I read a couple of the responses, and in a nutshell, they basically were saying that this company was racist, this company was insensitive, and this company just wants to put the perception out there that that's how black people are, or what black people are. And my answer to that is this. Number one, it's not perception, it's reality. And number two, it's our fault. It's black people's fault. The black man is to take part of the blame, and the black woman is to take part of the blame. And let me explain why. Going back to the end of slavery, which was called Reconstruction, and especially in some areas, about 80%, and this is approximate, about 80% of black households had mother-father in it, husband-wife. Going on up through time, the 1920s, when the Great Depression hit, black households, still approximately 80% of black households had mother, father, husband, wife in it. Go on through Jim Crow and through the Civil Rights era up through the 1960s. still approximately 80% of the black homes had husband, wife, mother, father in it. During the 1930s, President Roosevelt, who was in office at the time, came out with what he called the New Deal. And part of the New Deal was this program called AFDC. I think maybe some of us remember that, know what that is. But AFDC stands for Aid to Families with Dependent Children. Aid to Families with Dependent Children. And the original purpose and intention of that was to give aid to widows who had lost their husbands. And I'm going to say that again. The original intent and purpose of AFDC was to give aid to widows, women who were married, who had lost their husband to death, of course. Now fast forward to the 1960s, when Lyndon B. Johnson became president. He introduced his bill called the Great Society. And in that bill, he and the Democratic run House of Representatives, and I think, I could be mistaken, but of course also the Senate was majority Democrat. He introduced a bill called the Great Society, and part of that bill was a quote-unquote remix or a remake of AFDC. And their remake or remix was, we're going to give aid to any family, and generally speaking, women who didn't have a father there or a husband there in the household. Whether you were widowed, whether you were divorced, or whether you was just a single woman, a single parent. And that began the downfall of the black family unit. And let me say this, from Reconstruction to the Great Depression, through Jim Crow, through the Civil Rights, all black people had were one another. And that's all we needed. I don't have enough time to go through the many great black communities that existed during those eras. Rosewood was a great black community. Great black communities in Chicago, in Detroit, in Washington, D.C., in New York, in L.A. And I know everyone has probably heard of Black Wall Street. And those are only just a few. Black people had black people. And that's all black people needed. Now, I'm not saying that Jim Crow and those civil rights movement and the Great Depression and Reconstruction was just, a bowl of cherries. They weren't, and especially for black people. They were horrible times. But black people survived, and black people made it, and black people had one another, and the family unit was intact. But when in the 1960s, when this remix to AFDC came along, that was the beginning of the end of the black family, of the intact black family. And again, it's our fault. Yes, the influence is there. Yes, the influence of the Great Society bill, which remade or remixed AFDC, is there. But it's our fault, black man and black woman, because we didn't have to accept it. We didn't have to take it. We could have said thanks, but no thanks. We got one another. When that remix came along, didn't take into account human nature. And human nature will follow the path of least resistance. It's easier for me to say, give me the money, without any work, without hard work, without earning it, than for me to work for it, to earn it. And when that came out, that began the destruction of not only the black family as an intact black family, but it began the beginning of the end of black communities. Before that came, even history shows, and you can read the facts, you can read the books. History shows that crime in the black communities weren't very high. It shows again that husband, wife, mother, father was in the home. Poverty wasn't like it is now. But after that came out, and after we accepted it and said, black man, first of all, I can just go and lay up with my black woman, and I don't have to have any responsibility. I don't have to be there. And the black woman say, well, I can get paid without me having to go to work if I just open my legs to any man or to this black man and have a baby, have a child. Now I know y'all are going to say that ain't what we do, and that's what people say. If I just go on and have a baby, I can get AFDC, I can get food stamps or whatever it's called today, and put them on child support. That was the beginning of the end. Not even 12 years later, as a matter of fact, I think it was around 12 years later. Guys, look the facts up for yourself. 12 years later, 80% of the husband, wife, mother, father being in the home fell to 60%. Only 12 years later. And today in 2014, 72% of the black homes do not have a father in it where there are children. 72%. And it all comes from the Great Deal, AFDC. We're going to feed you, we're going to clothe you, we're going to give you a roof above your head if you just have babies. Don't bring a black man in there. Don't bring a man in there, because if you do, we're not going to help you. And human nature, guys, follow the path of least resistance. And black man said, fine, I'll just go and lay up with the black woman, give her babies. I don't have to be there, no responsibility. And 72% of them said that. And the black woman said, I'll just open my legs to the black man, have babies, and get a check, and get food stamps every month. And 72% of them said that, and still saying it today. That's where the 72% comes from. And 72%, guys, is not perception. That's reality. And we have no one to blame but ourselves. Black man and black woman. We're still doing it today. We're still sleeping around, impregnating our black women, but taking no responsibility. We're not marrying. We just sleep, impregnate our black woman, and take no responsibility. That's black man, black woman, still doing it today. Have sex with the black man, get pregnant, and then get on welfare. Still doing it today. And that's not perception. That's reality. 72% of the black homes with children in it does not have a father or a husband in it. 70% of the black men in jail says that they've never had a father in the home. And that's a problem. That's an epidemic. And we can't be mad at the white people for, quote unquote, putting the perception out there that black people don't marry. The stats say that we don't. 72%. That's high. And that is a total reversal of what it was before this Great Society bill came into fruition. And I know that some of you are going to say, well, you can't blame, this Democrats, and you can't blame. And guys, I don't care about a party. I don't care about a Republican Party. I don't care about a Democrat Party. I don't care about a Tea Party. I don't care about a independent party. I don't care about a libertarian. I don't care about a Whig party. I don't care about a birthday party. We made the decision to go along with it. To say, black man, to say, I can have fun but don't have to take responsibility. And the black woman say, I can have fun and don't have to take responsibility. I'll be taken care of by the establishment. And another thing that tore us up also is also when black women got into this women's lib, this women's rights and women's liberation. Black women never had anything to be liberated from. You were never under the power of your black man. You were never under any controlling authority or power of the black man, but decided to believe the lie. And white women convinced black women to, quote unquote, be independent of your black man. And so did abortion, which was a part of this woman independent, your freedom of choice. It's not freedom of choice. It's not about choice. And it's never been about choice. And all you have to do is think. Just think, guys. If I kill a pregnant woman if I kill her and her baby dies because she dies, I'm going to get charged with double homicide or double murder. Because I took the life of her. I took her life and I took the life of that baby that's inside of her. I'm going to get charged with that. Double homicide or double murder. But if a woman just decides to end her pregnancy, terminate the pregnancy, have an abortion, it's not murder. It's not homicide. All you got to do is think. And we have lost over 15 million black babies since 1973 when Roe versus Wade went into effect. 15 million. And wonder why we have been overtaken as the number one minority in this nation by the Hispanics. We have the greatest percentage, the highest percentage of abortions of any race in this country. We make up only approximately 11% of the population. But we have the greatest or the highest abortion rate of any demographic. We're somewhere at around 33-35% of abortions happen by black women. And we can't blame anyone else. I was reading that same post, and I'm going to repeat something that I saw someone read, and it was correct. It was on time. It was on spot. And they said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit. That post said, the person or the people that you do not scrutinize is the person or the people who controls you. When we start shifting blame, the person that we don't ever try to scrutinize and see where there's blame, that's the person that controls us and puts us in bondage. And we don't look at ourselves. We don't honestly take a look at ourselves. That's our fault. And it has been. But we can turn that around. If we can again get back to what God said. 1 + 1 is 2, guys. It's simple. 1 + 1 is 2. When there were husband and wife, mother and father in the home, in the black home, crime rate was down in the black communities. Poverty was down in the black communities. Education was up in the black communities. But as soon as those policies came into power and started taking away the black man out of the home, that's when crime started going up. And again, it was a significant notice, crime going up in only 12 years. Poverty going up in 12 years. Education going down in 12 years. 1 + 1 is 2. If we can't figure that out, guys, something's terribly wrong with us. Terribly wrong. Get back to what God said. Marry. Have children. That's God's way. And watch us turn this thing around. The jig is up at 12 o'clock midnight. And it's 11:58:59 p.m.